Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mio. Today I'm just getting started by showing you this client's nails. This is from a recent set that we did. Actually, it was a month ago from when we filmed her coming back in. I will link that in the cards for you. It was a really gorgeous, bright, spring, floral, encapsulated flower set with glitter and mylar and ombre. It was just really, really gorgeous. So we actually went in and took them completely off, took them down. She did lose one finger, this pointer finger. She lost, I think she said at the gym, I'm not sure, but you know, we're just gonna start a whole new set. I am getting started by pushing back her cuticles and cleaning up any dead skin. So this client actually has really, really tough, thick, ingrown cuticles. She's very, she just wants me to make sure I handle that, so that's what I did. I'm going in with my diamond skiver bit at a low speed, and I am just using it left to right across the nail plate, kind of by the eponychium area. If you can see, I've got the bit very flat to the nail. This is not the kind of bit you want to angle into the nail to kind of, you know, grind off that dead skin. You will cause rings of fire and damage the nail plate. This should not be a painful process. I'm going to do this in the forward direction. So for me, I'm right-handed. I'm going from right to left, and then flip my e-file to the reverse direction and then go from left to right to just make sure I get everything up off this nail. To further smooth out her cuticles, I'm going in with the same diamond abrasion. It's a diamond ball bit. So this I'm actually using just on her skin. I am not using this on the nail plate because this would for sure, because it's round, cause rings of fire. That's like that round indentation you might see around the cuticles. I'm just going on her skin to kind of buff away any excess dead skin that I might not have gotten, and also to kind of smooth the surface of her skin so that we have a nice cuticle appearance. After that, I'm just going to go in with my sanding band. This is a fine sanding band that I use. I think it's from Amazon. I'm not entirely sure where it might be from, I'm not sure, but I'm just using a fine sanding band at the same low speed that I was using those skiver bits and the ball bits at. This is safe for her natural nail. I'm just using it to kind of buff the natural nail, remove any shine and any excess product that might still be on the nail. After that, I went in and gave her new tips. I didn't put that in the video just because it's redundant. I applied some clear stiletto tips. We cut them down to a slightly coffin shape. I blended with my same e-file and sanding band, and then just we're getting ready for prep for application. So here we already have those nails on. I'm going in with the normal prep like I normally do. My dehydrator is running really low. I do have another one back up, but I'm just trying to finish this one, which is why I'm like, you know, fumbling with the bottle. But I'm going in with the Secret Dehydrator. This helps to remove any oil or moisture in the nail. We want it to be completely dry so that we have the best possible adhesion. Now I'm going in with that extra bond from Secret, and I'm just giving the full nail a full full coating of this primer, we want it to dry completely before applying your, well, not completely, but you want it to dry before you go in with your enhancement. You don't want it to be like soaking wet. I like to use 2 primers. After that, I go in with a thin coat of the Young Nails Protein Bond. Once I'm done with all 10 fingers, then I get started with my application. So as you know, if you like to watch my videos, I love to go in with a clear bead of acrylic. I'm using my Young Nails Core Clear and the Mia Secret monomer this time. So I've got some time working with these products today, and I'm giving the full nail, her nail, and the tip a coating of this clear acrylic. I love doing this. It just helps with the removal process. It helps to give me a base, a smooth base to work on, and it just gives me a little bit of thickness so that when she comes in for a redesign and I'm filing, I have a little bit of a buffer between my e-file bit and the actual nail/nail tip. So nothing crazy. I'm just making sure to not flood the cuticle and sidewall area. If I do, I just use the tip of my brush to kind of clean away that product so that it's not resting on the skin. We do not want a surface breakdown or any potential issues that will cause early lifting. Like the last set she had very minimal lifting. She had it for a month. That's basically ideal. So this step kind of helps to, give me a good foundation so that I have, similar results with all of my clients. Okay, so for the fun stuff, I know I say this all the time once we get into the design, but honestly, this is when it starts getting fun for me. I am using my all-time favorite acrylic on her. This is Tara Ui by the Red Acrylics, and I told her, I'm like, girl, you lucky. I'm using my favorite nude acrylic on you, and it's running low, so she really loved it. This color is gorgeous. It looks beautiful on her as well. I am using the Red Acrylics Tara Ui. We are going to be doing a really, really gorgeous ocean vibes set today. She sent me some inspo pics, and I kind of just freestyled after, getting a vibe of the color and the style of the nail, but I think it came out really great. So on this pinky, we are doing a full nail of the Tara Ui color. It is more of a runny color, so as you see, I'm going to be tapping my brush constantly so that I do not use too much of a wet brush. Sometimes when the brush is too wet, you are actually shearing out the product. So because this is already more of a shearer color, I want most of the color. I want the opacity, so I'm making sure to tap my brush constantly to make sure that it's a little bit more dry, so as you can see, we get the full color of that product on this nail. So I'm going to be applying a full nude nail to the pinky, the pointer, and her thumb. We're going to do some fun stuff with the other fingers in a little bit. I will be clear capping all of the nails. In the beginning, I didn't plan on it, but based on the design, I decided clear capping would be the best thing to do. So I'm going to do a fairly thin clear cap. As you can see, I built up a good amount of structure with this base acrylic as well to begin with. So the clear cap is mainly just going to be to protect the design that we're going to do a little bit later. But look at how gorgeous this color is on her skin tone. I mean, Tara Ui is just a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I always talk about it and I call it my oatmeal acrylic. She actually asked me halfway through the set, like, are there supposed to be specks in this acrylic? And I'm like, yes, it's my oatmeal acrylic. And she was just like, okay. But yeah, it's a really, really gorgeous color. Look at it on her skin tone, just beautiful. The next color that we're gonna go in with is Winter White from iGel Beauty. It is a soft, sheer kind of milky white, I guess you can call it. And it's a good one. I really, really think it's my favorite milky white color. It is, yeah, she's talking about the color. It's a really, really nice white. It's slightly sheer. You get just enough of the white, but it is a color that it's really beautiful. I have a lot of other kind of milky whites, but they're a little bit too white or too sheer. I don't know how to describe it, but this one just works really, really great. So on this ring finger, we're going to do a solid nail of this Winter White by iGel Beauty. Same thing. I'm making sure to use more of a medium dry brush, not completely dry because you don't want like your product to be sticking to the brush, but just making sure that I'm not using a super wet brush so that I'm shearing out the product. We want the opacity from this acrylic color, especially because there are a little bit more sheerer colors today. So that's basically what I'm doing. This ring finger is going to have a full coat of this product. The ring finger is going to be a baby boomer set using these two colors. So I'm going to go in with the Winter White on her middle finger at the tip of the nail, and then using the same Tara Ui color to ombre, two color ombre down over that from the cuticle. Now that we are basically done with the base acrylic application, we can get into the main design of this set. So I've got my palette out and I am going to be swatching these blue colors. We are going ocean blue kind of vibes. I'm swatching different kinds of blue that I got from Beauty. We have baby powder that is that bright white. I'm going to be swatching a jelly blue actually. So this color right here is an ocean blue kind of jelly color. So it is really sheer and fun, and going to be using a clear stripe actually. So I'm just using some base coat. I just wanted a little bit of variation or to sheer out the color. So the way to do that is just to use a clear base coat. And then I'm going to go in with a deeper blue. I'm going to marble, you know, really quickly all of these colors together to kind of swirl them around. That's that clear layer of gel polish that I'm going to be using, and then a darker blue. So I'm going to marble them just lightly so that we have a nice variation in colors. And then I'm going to be applying a blooming gel to all of her nails except for that fully white nail. So the blooming gel is from Beauty. It is fantastic and I love it because what it does basically is allow any gel product that you apply onto the nail to kind of slowly spread and kind of bloom out around the edges. It gives a really soft and gorgeous appearance to the nail. So you apply it to the nail. Do not apply a thick coat. So as you can see, I'm just giving it a nice generous coating, but it is not thick. And I'm not painting the entire nail because I kind of know where I want the product to kind of go. So I'm avoiding the cuticle area because it'd be a waste. And when you're using blooming gel, you do not cure this gel. So you leave it wet on the nail. As you can see, I'm just applying a thin coat to all of the nails except for the white one. And then I'm going to pick up some of that blue marbled polish that we added to my palette with just a regular brush. I've seen people use like a little scraper. It's not a big deal. Just make sure you don't pick up a big dollop of product. Otherwise you're gonna, you know, overload your nail. So as you can see, I'm picking up with a small brush on the side, just kind of scooping up some product and scooping up different colors, and I'm just going to wriggle the polish across the nail in a very, very light hand, you know, and just kind of let the blooming gel do its thing. If I feel like there's not a lot of color in one area, or I want a little bit more of a dark blue, or if I want a little bit more of the white, then I can pick up, you know, specific colors that I want. So on this hand, we are going in a diagonal from like the top right to the bottom left. On her second hand, I did it in the opposite direction. So you see there's a bit of white there. I was like, it's a little bit too much white. I just pick up a little bit more blue and then, you know, apply it as necessary. And in the time that I'm going to be working on the other nails, slowly that blooming gel is going to allow these gel polishes to kind of soften up around the edges, and it just creates this really, really gorgeous soft marble effect on the nail that looks really, really pretty and natural. Once I'm happy with that, I'm going to, this is important, clean my sidewalls. Even though I am going to be encapsulating this with clear acrylic, sometimes you don't have to. It's important if you're using blooming gel to clean your sidewalls. I can't tell you how many times I've done this, and the gel kind of blooms to the edges, and when you cure, now you have a huge dollop on the side of the nail that you know, worked so hard to maintain the shape of, and you filed already. So as you can see, I've got some on my finger. Just clean it off the sidewalls and then have the client cure for a full 60 seconds. So this set is, the design is set on the nail. The blooming gel has an inhibition layer. It is really sticky. So I decided to go in with these really, really shiny chrome kind of gold foil pieces. These are the Chameleon Flakes by the two guys. I really, really love these, and I'm actually running low on this color. It comes in a set of 6, and I think the gold color is number 6, but it fell on the floor a few months ago. So that's why I'm running so low on it. It's like impossible to use an entire container of these because they're so tiny and you get so much in there, but I definitely dropped it on the carpet and like lost, whatever. But basically I am just using that same brush that we applied the gel polish with, and I'm picking up a little bit of the gold Chameleon Flakes and placing them mostly around the outer edges of the blooming gel marble that we placed on the nail. Because that blooming gel cures with an inhibition layer, it's very, very sticky, and I'm just using that stickiness to kind of adhere these gold foil pieces to the nail. I think the gold just kind of helps to add a little something sparkly. You know, I love the sparkle to the nail, and it just helps to give us a little bit of something special to the nail. It's also going to help later when we're adding some bling, because then I can you know, include gold in there, which I always love. Once I'm happy with the gold foil, we are going to clear cap. So it's time to clear cap. I'm using my Young Nails Core Clear, and I'm using more of a runny bead to clear cap. Normally I would use a drier bead just to build up a little bit more structure with the product, but because I did that already with the base color, we do not want like really, you know, bulky, chunky nails. It's not pretty. So I'm making sure to, you know, guide that product down the length of the nail. The purpose of this clear cap really is to protect that marble and gold foil that we added. You definitely don't have to clear cap this. You could have totally top coated it, but I just feel better about it being under that clear coat of acrylic. There's no weird texture or anything like that from the gold foil or from the marble, and you just get a little bit more structure. So as you can see, I am tilting the client's hands, her fingers down around that cuticle area so that the product runs down the length of the nail versus back into the cuticle area. And then I'm just going to guide the product down, keeping it in the middle of the nail. I'm constantly cleaning the sidewalls. We do not want, you know, thick or warped nails, and you don't want product on the skin. And then I'm blending that cuticle bead down over the nail. Once I'm happy with the shape, we're just gonna move on, and I'm gonna clear cap the rest of her nails. After clear capping, I'm going in with this medium carbide bit. It is one of those purple tungsten colors. I believe it is from Macart. It is a narrow bit. I am loving the narrow carbide bits right now just because it's basically the same width of the nail, and it just feels like I have a lot bit more control, not a little bit. So here I am just using it to smooth out the surface of the nail. It's a medium carbide bit. It is not a safety, so you must be careful going around like this, around the cuticle and sidewall areas. As you can see, I am taking my time and not going like wildly around the nail. There's not much to smooth in terms of the surface of the nail. I did a good job in the application, so it's fairly smooth, but in this point I am just making sure that it is absolutely smooth, getting rid of any lumps and bumps, cleaning up the sidewalls and cuticle area. Sometimes you'll see me actually go around that free edge and on the sidewalls just to make sure. There you go. I like to go on the sidewalls as well just to refine that shape and get rid of any excess product that might be on the sides, warping that beautiful coffin shape that we like. But for the most part, I am just using a medium to high speed. Again, my e-file, I'm using the Coupa Me file, does not have an LED display screen or numbers around the dial, so it is by feel. If you are newer with using an e-file, I would just suggest getting one that has an option to show you how fast you're using your e-file. But for the most part, for me, it just, you see I slide my thumb down the length of it just to see if I feel anything and then continue to file. But for me, I can kind of just feel as I'm working. If I turn the file on and I feel like it's not working as fast as I need it to, I can always speed it up. If it's a little too fast and I don't have control, I can always slow it down. But you should just use the e-file at the speeds that work for you and that are safe for you and your client. Once done with the e-filing, it is time to hand file and just perfect the shape of all of these nails. So I'm using an 80/80 grit hand file. It is really, really sharp and tough, so I'm being very careful. As you can see, I'm squeezing the fingernail really, really, stiff and sturdy so that it doesn't wobble, especially in this up and down motion that I use on the free edge to get a nice sharp shape. What were we talking about? Who knows? And then I am just making sure to push the skin away and just, file the nails in a way that is safe for the client. 80 grit is really, you know, easy to cut the skin. I've done it. I've had it done to me. It is not pleasant. And then the wobble is not pleasant as well. It does hurt a little bit on that nail plate. So as you can see, I'm squeezing the crap out of that nail so that it stays steady as I'm filing that free edge. But for the most part, I just want to maintain that shape that we got in the beginning with the tips. We are going for a beautiful coffin shape, and it is happening here. So another reason why I decided to encapsulate the design is because if I had gone in and just added a glossy top coat after the design, when I go into file or before that, I might file off some of that blue marble on the sides of the nail. So I just felt like encapsulating it kind of just helps to give me a little bit more protection of the design. I just feel safer when I encapsulate designs, but you definitely don't have to. But that's what's happening here with the hand file. After using the hand file and brushing away any dust, I'm spraying this client down with alcohol and using a manicure brush to clean the nails. I'm cleaning the cuticles, the sidewall areas, the surface, and underneath the nails with this manicure brush. I love doing this, even if I don't send a client to wash their hands, or even if I do, I always do this afterwards just to make sure that we get rid of any oil or debris or dust or anything that might be on the nail that might compromise a gel application. So it takes a few seconds, you know for sure that you're cleaning the nail, and it also helps to just dehydrate the nail further so that we can get ready for the next step. In this case, it is bling time. As you can see, I've got so many things out on the table, and it was so funny when I was pulling out all of these things, the client was just kind of like, girl, what is happening? And I'm just like, don't know, just, you know, ride with it. So basically we are just going to be building a really, really gorgeous rhinestone design down the center of the nail. It is going to be including really, really gorgeous, as you can see, I've got that small container down below with the various blue rhinestones. That's not a set of rhinestones, that's just like a collection of stones that I have used in the past but didn't want to sort back into, you know, the containers that they came from. So I just threw them in there and they all kind of, you know, worked out in this case. I didn't have to like search different containers for blues and things like that. But yeah, I'm just using a lot of different rhinestones, crystal AB. We've got like turquoise blue Swarovski. We've got, you know, pale blue, dark blue. I'm using silver beads, silver caviar beads, gold, you know, charms. Just, it doesn't matter. I'm just building up a really, really gorgeous rhinestone design for her on the white nail. And for the set, I decided to use the Zule Bling Adhesive. As you can see, I'm just taking my time and applying a small bead of that glue wherever necessary before placing the bead, and then using my rhinestone picker to apply the rhinestones and or charms as necessary. I find this glue works really, really well. I have another client that I did a video on that baby boomer marble foil. We did a huge nail of bling, and she actually came back and didn't lose anything. So the Zule Bling Adhesive is fantastic. You just need to make sure that you work quickly because it is a resin that dries by air, not by curing. So that's something to consider. Just because I used a lot of charms and small metal pieces though, I'm gonna use this glossy top coat and paint over any metal piece that I have on this nail. I find painting over the metal pieces is great because they do rust over time. These are not real metal pieces. They're, you know, I think painted, or I'm not sure how they're made, but they do rust over time. So you're gonna see me applying that glossy top coat over the metal pieces. Some of them will get over the rhinestones, but I will wipe them off the rhinestones before curing. But this just helps to seal them in even further so that they don't snag, especially on the hair, on the clothes. That's really, you know, not pleasant. So that's what you see me doing here with that glossy top coat. I'm using the Manicure top coat by Young Nails. It is not a no wipe, so you must wipe off the inhibition layer after curing, but curing for 60 seconds basically gets you this high shine, really thick, gorgeous, glossy finish to the nail. As you can see, that white nail with the blue and gold and crystal AB bling is just really, really pretty and just helps to, you know, set off the rest of the nails really, really gorgeously. So after I'm done with the top coat, I'm going to have her cure for 60 seconds and then the set is basically done. Actually, when her hand was in there, she was like, oh, these nails glow. And I actually forgot to tell her that Tara Ui, my favorite nude in the world, does glow green. It glows a huge bright green. It's such a gorgeous color. I highly, highly recommend everyone. Well, I guess don't buy it because I need to buy a new container. But after I get a new container of this acrylic color, I recommend everyone to go to that site and buy this color because it is so gorgeous and so beautiful on the skin. So here we are. I have 2 shots for you of these nails. They came out so beautiful and gorgeous, and actually I didn't really see the ocean vibes until the client mentioned it. She was just kind of like, this feels like I'm at the beach, and I'm like, in fact it does. We actually filmed it outside the action shot for you because it was just so beautiful and I could not deal. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you like this one. Like if you do, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.